Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. It's been many months since I have done an actual video here in front of my screen. As you may know, I have been reloading all of my saved and stored videos from the past in my new channel. Suffered a hijacking and a total hack of my previous channel, which took me years to build. So I am rebuilding again. It's sort of like a phoenix coming from the ashes. But anyway, I have to go back to the basics at this point, and I have to tell you what you are not supposed to do when you first get a printer. Do not start printing your own images. Okay? Your own images are not control images. You will never be able to really tell what that new printer, and today's printers are extremely capable of producing beautiful results. The problem is you're probably not getting beautiful results. And the answers are actually quite simple. You have a monitor. Either you're using a laptop, or if you are a Mac user, you're using a Mac Pro, usually a laptop, and you're trying to edit your images. In other words, what does it mean to edit your images? You're trying to improve what the camera produced. So you load your images, you load your little memory card into your computer, and you're looking at your images through your editor, whatever you're using, and you're adjusting them. And more than likely, you're going to adjust the brightness, the contrast, the color balance. And then once you arrive at a point where it looks good to you, you're going to attempt to print them. But what do you mean it looks good to you? You're looking at a screen, and let me ask you something. How are you sure that the screen was originally, before you started editing, showing you the actual perfect values that the camera recorded on your memory card? No, it is not. It is not. So you are then adjusting your images through your editing process so that they look good, because they probably did not look good. What you did basically is alter them. How do you know they were not perfect to begin with? Because your monitor was not displaying them perfectly. So you had to adjust them so that they appear as perfect as you would wish them to be. But now they're not, because your monitor wasn't perfect. Okay? It's like with any instrument, it has to be calibrated. And I hate to tell you that when you get into this hobby, it's not just buying the printer. You need to also consider buying a monitor calibrator, because these monitors, including mine and everyone else's, do not come calibrated for photo editing. They come calibrated so that you get a beautiful, stunning result when you're viewing something. Too bright, too contrasty, and in most cases slightly bluish. Your brain sees that and says, wow, I am so impressed. They do that to TVs as well. Okay? So the first thing you have to do, unfortunately, is going to cost you several $100s to get a spectrophotometer if you want to also make profiles down the road, or a colorimeter in order for you to be able to calibrate this baby. And that is a process. Also, it is too bright. So let's just assume, for the sake of this little discussion, that the monitor's color rendition is spot on. Unfortunately, out of the box, it's way too bright. So if I have an image, and before we get to the control image, and it has a black, and that black, whatever value, is 000, there shouldn't be any little pixels on your monitor being lit. It should be, that area should be off. There should be absolutely no light reflecting toward you. That's not going to be the case. You're going to see that area. Like right now, I'm looking at my background back there. Those pixels on my monitor are not even lit. They are off. How do you achieve this calibration? Well, with a colorimeter for your monitor or a spectrophotometer, like I said, if you want to also create profiles down the road. So you attach it to the front of your monitor, you crank up the software, and it's going to walk you through the steps. First of all, it's going to tell you to adjust your brightness. Most of the time, it's going to be 140. I get mine down to 80. If you look at my room, this is how I edit. In a dark room, not in a brightly up in your living room with bright lights and window sunlight coming in. No, you have to isolate your monitor from any extraneous light, and the easiest way for me is to do it at night down here with all of these lights off. The only thing that's emitting light is my monitor. So it's going to adjust your red, it's going to adjust your green, and it's going to adjust your blue. Okay? It's going to adjust your contrast. So whatever is black is displayed as black all the way step by step, 255 steps all the way to white. Okay? The first 10 are not going to become black. Only 000. 222 or 111, you're going to be able to see the difference between 000 and 111. And 255 is just going to be blown white. In printing, that's just paper, no ink on it. So once the process is done, then now you know your monitor is calibrated. And some softwares allow you to do a before and after view, so you can see the huge difference this calibration process made, and you will be in for a shock. That's why you need to then situate your editing equipment in an area that you can, if you have no windows, the better. Cut out the overhead lights, work in the dark. That way you are seeing, just like at the theater, you don't watch a movie with the lights on. You watch a movie with the lights turned off. So that's the way you edit. And if you're asking me, well, how do you know this? Because I've been to many professional video editing studios for networks and places like photo editing for prints, and they work in a dark environment. That's the best way to get a consistent edit. Okay, now you need a control. In the world of biological laboratories, we have controls for everything. Every instrument that I ran in my 25 plus year career after I finished the Army, 21 years, by the way, I had controls. So, for instance, if I have an oven and it says specifically 275 degrees, and I adjust that dial to 275 degrees, how do I know it's really heating the oven to 275 degrees? My control is a thermometer that has been calibrated. Yeah, and I put it in there, and it says 270 degrees, where my dial and my actual temperature don't match. So I have to make an adjustment. If I have an adjustable dial, then I can turn it to 270, crank it back up to 275. It will heat an extra 5 degrees, and now it will be perfectly calibrated to what? To my calibration thermometer. So the calibration image that we're going to use looks like this. It will produce this. So don't print your images. No, your images are not controls. Your images need to be edited. This does not need editing. You will never, ever, ever edit this image. You open it, assuming that you already calibrated your monitor. If not, just open it. Don't do anything to it. File, print. And here is where it gets tricky, because you have a driver to deal with. And that driver is usually set for total beginners that don't know anything about color management. So it's going to be set to some silly sRGB automatic. No, 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 no. So if you are printing, and I will make this easy, if you're printing on an Epson printer or a Canon printer, make sure that you have a Canon paper on the Canon printer and an Epson paper in the Epson printer. You load that paper. It could be premium glossy. And you just go to your driver and you choose premium glossy. And then there is a color mode button. Color management, basically. You open that up and there'll be many choices. You're going to choose ICM. This is the easiest way to print. Say you're doing it from Photoshop. File, print, open your driver, and you just, or tell the printing application in Photoshop, you're going to let the driver control color, go into the driver physically, go to the color mode and choose ICM. What happens? The driver says, oh, okay, you're letting me control color. And I noticed you chose ICM. The letters I, C, and M. Now I know that you use premium glossy. I'm going to search inside your hardware, your hard drive, for that profile for premium glossy. And I am going to match this job with that profile because you just told me in that drop-down media menu that you're using premium glossy paper. Guess what? You're going to get this result. If, however, I make a mistake while the driver is controlling color, I tell Photoshop printing module, hey, I want you to control color and I want to be the one choosing the profile. And you do that. When you tell that printer module to control color, it's going to allow you to look at the profiles you have installed. In the case of a single printer, you probably just have a handful. And you choose premium glossy. Well, guess what? Now the application that you're printing with is controlling color, and so is the driver. It's called double profiling, and this is what you get. You look at the reds. This is ridiculous. It's overblown. The grays are just no detail. Look at this difference. Okay, so look at the babies' faces. They look like they all have sunburns. So this is double profiling. I printed this with Lightroom, double profiling on purpose. I printed this with QImage. What is QImage? QImage is a printing application. After you get done doing your editing, you save that image. Take it over to QImage and print it. QImage will not allow you, even if you want to double profile. It has AI, and it uses that AI to make sure your settings are correct. Whether you're using, and here's the big one, if you're using Mac or Windows, QImage comes in both versions. Either QImage for Mac is called QImage 1 or QImage for Windows. QImage 1 for Mac, QImage 1 for Windows. It has the basic, everything you need to print. If you want the super loaded with features version only for Windows, QImage Ultimate. In the video descriptions, I have a link. Okay, it will take you to a special page that I have where you just basically go from link to link, and it takes you to wherever I have affiliations with, and as well as QImage 1 or QImage Ultimate. Now, there is a current going on right now, huge discount for it. I know, it sounds like I'm selling you something. I am not. I'm just telling you that if you want to prevent any errors, okay, any user errors, you need to use QImage because it's the only software out there that will not allow you to make a mistake. And this old man Even today, after doing this for 25 years, the digital printing, that is, I used to make lots of mistakes, silly mistakes, beginner mistakes. That's no longer the case. Everything I print comes out as perfect as you can imagine. So, in other words, it matches my monitor. And why does it match my monitor? Even my own images. Because my monitor now is calibrated. Had I not calibrated it, it would not match. Anything I edited would never match what I see in my monitor. Period. Period. I'll repeat that. Anything I edit and print will not match what I see on my monitor if my monitor is not calibrated. Okay? So, one easy way, if you are a little leery of using these calibration softwares, remember we talked about the control image. So, if you're a member of my Facebook group, you can find that control image in the Files tab. There's a ton of stuff for you guys to download. It's all free. Download it and use it. Download the evaluation image and then open it and then print it. If you want to use Photoshop, use Photoshop. Let the driver control color, ICM color mode. Make sure you use an Epson paper and an Epson printer, Canon paper and a Canon printer, and so on. And print it. It should come out perfect. It should come out perfect, assuming that your printer is operating correctly, obviously. So, what if I want to let Photoshop manage color? Well, then I tell the driver, in this case, instead of ICM, I choose none or no color adjustment. So the driver just goes, I'm not going to mess with this. Oh, Photoshop is doing it. And how does Photoshop know how to adjust the colors of this image? Because I tell it to use the Pro Luster profile. So either the Photoshop application is using that profile or the driver is using that profile through that ICM mode. Okay, you have to put it on ICM, nothing else. Do not use any other thing you see there. ICM only. If you're going to let it control color and you're printing on Canon or Epson papers on a Canon or an Epson printer, ICM. If you just want to let the driver control color. But if you want to get fancy and use your application to control color, say you're using someone else's paper and you have their ICC profiles, they will tell you, hey, I want you to choose this Canon or Epson paper type. You choose that, but now you have to use their profile. You see, if that is the case, then you have to let the application control color. Tell the driver, no, none, no color adjustment. Okay, and then let Photoshop use a Red River Polar Gloss profile, which you downloaded and installed. Okay? It gets very, very confusing, I know. But QImage will take care of that for you. It will never allow you to double profile. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and use QImage to show you how easy it is to print. And we're going to do the standard image. So we'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, QImage is right here. It is set for a previous job that I had done in the past. I'm going to go ahead and set it for printing the standard image, and that could be any of these right here. We're going to be doing this one here. So we're going to choose the printer. As you can see, I have many printers. Choose the 8550 presentation paper matte, and I'm going to choose the correct paper size, letter size. I'm going to choose original size, and I'm going to load that image. And there it is, ready to be printed. Now, how do we know that the driver for the 8550 is not controlling color? Because QImage is going to do that for me. As you can see right here, it says Epson 8550 Epson Premium Presentation Paper Matte. So it's already chosen that profile for me automatically, but it's the driver set to no color management. In properties, we're going to click on that, and I'm going to take a quick look inside here. More options, advanced, no color adjustment. You see all these other ones? Color control? No, don't use any of those. If you're going to let the driver control color, we'll just leave this alone. If I wanted to let the driver control color, all I got to do is choose it right here. Let the driver control color. Now watch what happens. Driver AI status for the Epson 8550 series. Click on this dialog to open AI Copilot. Okay, and it tells you everything that it did. And basically what we want to know is, did the driver get set to ICM? I'm going to go back into the driver, more options, advanced, ICM. How about that? Let me go ahead and try to trick it. I'm going to check no color adjustment, and that would be horrendous. I'm going to say okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Driver AI status, fixed color management mode. Yeah, I couldn't put it past it. Let's go back. So see what I mean? Even if I wanted to make a mistake, ICM, because I'm letting the driver control color right here. Let's go back to letting the application control color. And I have my ICC profile right here. But if I wanted to, I have hundreds of them. If I wanted to let the application control color, all I got to do is click on suggest profiles. It's going to automatically find that profile. There it is on top. Look at how many profiles I have, folks. Okay, and I could go on. It's going to be placed right on top. Double click it, hit OK, and we're just going to go ahead and print. Now, keep in mind, this is not really Epson paper. It is not really presentation paper matte. It is a paper from Staples. It is matte. We'll see what kind of results we get. So let's let this load, and once it is done printing, we'll take a look at it, and we'll see what this printer can do, basically letting QImage control everything for you. Now, if this was a Mac computer, I would be using QImage 1, and it is the word 1, not the number 1. Okay, and I will have a link for you in my video descriptions. Just go to my video, go to show more, and in there will be a link. It will take you to a page that contains then links to all my affiliates and all of the softwares and products that I support. Okay. As you can see, it is going to begin printing. So I'm going to go back to me, and we'll take a look at what we have here. It's perfect. You see what I mean? So if you're having issues, your prints are too dark, your prints are off color, that's because you're editing them in a monitor that is not calibrated. As I look at my image there and here, it matches. I'm looking at it and I see this is absolutely neutral. This is from the blackest black gradually becoming the whitest white without any kind of banding or any kind of color change. So that's all it takes, folks. You have to first get your monitor calibrated. Every time I hear this problem, I say, wait a minute, are you editing your images? They say, yes, of course. Well, you're really changing them, okay? This image is perfect. That's why it should never be edited, okay? This image is perfect. It should never be edited. So let's take a look at the image that we have. Let me go ahead and switch over to the screen mode. And there you go. You see that? If the image printed looked different, then something has to be done. And this is what a lot of people get confused with. This is perfect. This is as good as it gets. If my monitor doesn't quite match this, I do not adjust this to make it match my monitor. It's my monitor that is off. And somehow, through my calibrating software, I have to make my monitor match this output. Once they match, it's linked. It is like this. Then any edits that I make will be reflected in the prints that I create. You don't want to edit something that looks neutral and then it turns out a little bit magenta. Or something that's, I have to make this a little bit yellowish so it'll look neutral. No. This should be neutral. This should be neutral. And you do not adjust this to match that. You adjust the monitor to match this perfect print. Okay? This print is perfect. So I have to match that monitor to this output. That way, anything I edit then, I can trust it will match my monitor. Once you nail this down, it is like, oh my God, why did I suffer for months doing this? And again, I highly suggest you use QImage. So at the end, after you are totally bored of listening to me, go to the video descriptions. There's a little paragraph, and it gives you one link. Copy, paste that on your browser. Okay? And then that will take you to this. Let me show you. This is one of my other videos that I have uploaded. When you go to the Show Me More in your computer, when you're watching my video, you're going to see this paragraph, and here you're going to see a link. Copy that link and paste it. Enter. It takes you here. Okay? You want QImage 1? Click here. And it takes you right here. Go ahead and place your order. There's different tiers that you can get. Believe me, folks, this will solve your problems. Or if you want the full-blown version only for Windows users, use this one here. And it will take you directly there. Trust me, this is the way to go. This will solve all your issues. If you're making mistakes with double profiling, it's not going to ever happen again. Okay? And Mr. Cheney, Mike Cheney, the creator of the Windows version, has a forum that you can become a member of and get anything answered that you may come up with, any questions you may have. Once you buy it, you get free updates for the whole calendar year. After that, you don't have to pay anything to update. And then at the start of a new year, you will then just basically pay a very small amount of money, say a 2027 version of it. We are on the 2026 version right now. Okay, I did this as detailed as I could possibly make. I don't want you guys to have any questions, but if you still do, join my Facebook group, for God's sakes. It is actually located inside that link, that list of different places you can go to. Join the Facebook group, and there we have over 9,000 crazy photo printing techies like me that will absolutely come to your aid and help you solve any issues you may have. All right? So that'll be it for now. I hope you were drinking coffee, because I know I put some people to sleep. That's what they tell me, but I try to be as thorough as possible. So thank you so much again. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And as always, happy printing, everybody. That's my little phrase. Bye-bye.